We are live from Pringle Field on the campus of Riverdale High School in Fort Myers, Florida, where the 6-8 Riverdale Raiders are ready to take on the visiting 12-2 Ida Baker Bulldogs. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the Riverdale Raiders broadcast network for tonight's presentation of Florida High School varsity baseball. I'm Nick Rush, giving you the call of tonight's ball game, and we are moments away from the first pitch, where the Riverdale starting pitcher Carson Palmquist is in the middle of his warm-ups. He is the tall, lefty freshman ready to go to work tonight. Thank you for joining us once again on the Riverdale Raiders broadcast network. Moments away from this ball game between the Raiders and the Ida Baker Bulldogs. It's now time to take a look at your batting order for the visiting Bulldogs of Ida Baker High School.
The Ida Baker Bulldogs, center fielder number 4, Luke Ensley.
And Luke Ensley will start the bats off for Ida Baker. He's the center fielder, right-handed swinger, wearing number 4 on his back. Palmquist gets the nod. Leg whip fire, swing and a miss, and we are ready to go with a first pitch start time of 7:04 p.m. as we are ready to go from Pringle Field on the campus of Riverdale High School. Luke Ensley, Christian Prophet, the shortstop, and the left fielder Matt McGarty will be your three men due up here at the top of the first. Cleaning up will be Christian Menendez, playing first base. The DH Chris Schro will be batting fifth. And the sixth spot, it's Gabe Villaverde, the catcher. Seventh, it's the third baseman Ryan Clay. Alex Rios, the second baseman, batting eighth. And in the ninth spot, Corey Hill will be batting, and he'll be playing right field in today's ball game. As a pitch heads to the backstop for a ball one. Riverdale in the field, ready to go on what is a beautiful evening. Daylight savings time was just last week, and we actually have the sun out for once, which is setting just behind the ballpark. This is a bouncer over to the shortstop, where it's going to be bobbled, and Luke Ensley is going to get on first with an error. And that's an F6, an E6 rather, in your scorebooks.
Number 10, Christian Prophet.
And Christian Prophet now comes on with a man on first and none out. No score as we are ready to go at the top of the first. Here's a check over to Ensley, and he's going to slide in back in time. Ida Baker, coached by Bob Van Deventer, this certainly is the team to beat. You see Prophet trying to square down the bunt. Pitch comes into the sides. Throw over the first to Joel Velez, the first baseman for the Raiders in tonight's ball game. Comes close, but the umpire says Ensley is going to be back in time. We have two umpires in today's ball game. One back behind home plate and one behind the pitcher's mound. Pitch high and dry for a ball two. Count now 2-0 to Christian Prophet. Well, once again, the sun is out and blue skies all around here. It really is a different sight to see. Because all season long, when you come to Pringle Field, before daylight savings time this year, you would have noticed by the time we reached your first pitch, the sun already set and the night skies were out. Well, that's not the case tonight, of course. As a pitch is right down the middle of the strike plate. 2-1 on the way. Here's a throw to second base, and that runner is going to be in time. Well, that was pretty creative. Carson Palmquist, he was in the middle of the windup, and he saw Ensley take off towards second base. He threw over the first base to Joel Velez, and then eventually over to the shortstop, Daniel Kaler, who guarded the bag, but he cannot apply the tag in time. So now, with 2 outs at the top of inning number 1, Ida Baker has a runner on second. And with no outs, Christian Prophet at the plate, he can really do some damage. Still scoreless, as the 2-1 pitch is on the way from Palmquist on the mound. And that's also offsides. 3-1. Very nice crowd on hand for tonight's ball game at Pringle Field. Plenty of fans and the Raider fan section down the first base side, which is right next to the Raider dugouts as usual. Next one on the way. Chopper up the middle. Going to the second baseman, Brendan McNabb can't apply the throw in time, and that runner, Christian Prophet, is safe. Well, it came to a very close throwdown, but Brendan McNabb could not get to the bouncer in time.
Number 1, Matt McCarty.
And by the time he released the ball off his hands, Prophet was already there on the bag. So now you have an infield hit there for Prophet. And Matt McGarty is going to try to do some damage here, the left fielder for Ida Baker as he steps into the plate. All three batters due up here at the top half of the inning for Ida Baker are right-handed swingers. Strike one, throw to second, runner trying to steal, and he will be successful. It was a double steal, perfectly converted, and now you have Luke Inslee on third, Christian Prophet on second. And any time now, Ida Baker can very well possibly break the scoreless tie here in your first inning of play. Well, earlier here at the top half of the first, I mentioned that Ida Baker is the team to beat, no doubt about it, as another strike is going to get in to McGarty, who now has an 0-2 count at the plate. Well, reason being is because Ida Baker, they are 12-2 so far in the regular season of 2016. That means, of course, 12 out of 14 games they have won. This is a very solid ball club, not a team to sneeze at, as the pitch is outside on the corners. Thank you all for tuning in once again to the Riverdale Baseball Broadcast Network. Nick Rush giving you the call here on a, once again, beautiful Monday evening. Very rarely do we have Monday games. This is actually our second and... Well, let me repeat that. This is our second out of 3 Monday night games this season. Our next one is going to be next week, a week from tonight, during spring break. Raiders have multiple spring break games that they will be playing over the next week, so we'll tell you more about that as the broadcast moves on. But McGarty will fly one deep out the left field, and that's going to be foul. His count is now tied up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. No score here in your opening inning of the ball game, but Ida Baker has Luke Inslee on third and Christian Prophet on second. Starting pitcher Palmquist in a bind. This is going to be chipped away foul by McGarty. So McGarty battling here in what has been a very lengthy at-bat for him and a very long top half of the first. This ball game started with a first pitch at 7:04. In Southwest Florida, it's now 7:11 p.m. Carson Palmquist with the leg whip and fire, and that one nearly got away from the catcher Tyler Prell. He manages to keep it in play, and it's now a full count. Very crucial upcoming pitch here if it's outside. McGarty will take first, and the bags will be juice for the Bulldogs. Payoff. And that's not going to make it to the strike plate. Bases loaded for the Dogs. Up next comes the first baseman, Christian Menendez, cleaning up for Ida Baker. And there will be a quick break on the mound as Coach Pringle is going to come out, have a conversation with both the pitcher Carson Palmquist and catcher Tyler Prell. So they'll try to get things sorted out there with the signals, try to get Palmquist a little more relaxed up on the mound, because this certainly can be a very tense moment in a ball game.
Next batter for the Bulldogs, first baseman number 17, Christian Menendez.
I mean, it's awful at any point in a ball game if you have the bases loaded. It doesn't matter if you're up by 5, down by 5, wherever the score may be. No matter what inning you're in, it's always horrifying if you're a pitcher and the bags are juiced. This is probably the worst times to get the bases loaded in. Look at this. Runner coming home from third. Everyone advances as it's a wild pitch. Luke Inslee comes home to score, and that makes it 1-0 Ida Baker here at the top of the first. Still no outs. And on top of that, Christian Prophet slides over to third, and McGardy's now on second. So Menendez now has a little bit of a lead to improve here. Palmquist with a kick and fire for a strike. On top of this, the beautiful skies we have here at Riverdale High School, great weather as well. Nice cold front moved in here to southwest Florida. And in March, more often than not, it's going to be pretty warm down here in southwest Florida, but that hasn't been the case today. It's just been right. Not too warm, not too cool, as a ball 2 is now low. 2-1 is the count to Menendez. Another righty in the box. His next pitch is going to be smoked foul out of play down the right field line. Ida Baker just moments ago took their first lead of the ball game. It's 1-0 due to a wild pitch to the backstop from the Raiders starter Carson Palmquist, which sent home Luke Inslee from third to score. The deuce on the way. Chopper up the middle. McNabb scoops, throws, and there's your first out of this ball game. And it took 11 minutes to get it. Anyhow, a runner does come home to score. It's now 2-0 Ida Baker. That time Christian Prophet crossed the plate.
Batting next for Ida Baker, designated hitter number 16, Chris Schroe.
And Chris Schroe now hopes to add some damage. Here's a strike one delivered to Schroe, the fifth batter in the order. Ida Baker now leading 2-0 here at the top of the first. For those just tuning in, thank you for listening. A little bit of a rough start for the Raider defense here at the top of inning number 1, giving up 2 runs. Before all the scoring madness began, the bases were loaded for Ida Baker. And it results with Luke Inslee and Christian Prophet coming to score. So the designated hitter, Chris Schroe, hoping to get some magic going. He has a runner 90 feet away from home plate, so he's trying to put the lead up by 3. Bouncer to the shortstop, that's Daniel Kaler. Delivers to Joel Velez on first, and there's another run in for Ida Baker. It's Matt McGardy. Putting another run on the board makes the score 3-0 at the top of inning number 1.
Next batter for the Bulldogs, catcher number 7, Gabe Villaverde.
Gabe Villaverde now up at the plate. Good news, bad news situation here for Riverdale. Good news is that they have the bags cleared out. No runners on for Ida Baker. For the first time in what seems like forever since the beginning of this ball game. The bad news, they gave up those 3 runs. But that was their main goal, just to clear out that madness on the base pad. So it's a good thing they finally did that, and now they're 1 out away from heading to the home half of inning number 1. Ball 2 makes it low, the 2-0. Misses high. Palmquist with the delivery for the first strike to Villaverde. Raiders in today's ball game. They are wearing their white uniforms. Meanwhile, Villaverde is going to take a walk here as he reaches ball 4. So once again, Ida Baker with a runner on first. And Ryan Clay will be up next.
Courtesy runner now running at first base for the Bulldogs, number 14, Chris Sabo. Batting next for Ida Baker, third baseman number 3, Ryan Clay.
Chris Savo is going to be a courtesy runner over on first base for Villa Verde. And Ryan Clay will now be at the plate. Here's a throw over the first base. Velez will not be able to apply the tag in time as Villa Verde dives safe. This one in the dirt. Well, the Raiders in their white uniforms, garnet red script numerals on the back, garnet red script Raiders across the chest, white pants with a red stripe running down the sides, and in the field they are wearing their white caps, red bill with a red script down the center, which stands for Riverdale. This pitch is offsides, now 2-0 to Ryan Clay, and right now you have the starting pitcher for the Raiders, Carson Palmquist, just struggling out there to find the strike plate. Anyhow, he will reach strike 2 right there. Or strike 1, rather. Another check over the first. And the base runner, Chris Savo, is going to be back in time. So once again, Gabe Villaverde, he had the base on balls over the first base, and Chris Savo is now the courtesy runner over there. I apologize if moments ago I said Villaverde was over on first, but it's all good here at the top of the first. Raiders trying to adjust. They now realize what type of opponent they're going against. Like we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Ida Baker is a team that won 12 of 14 games thus far here in 2016. So they are off to a great hot start, and this is something they can really build off of for the postseason. Here's a pitch fouled back towards the press box, advances the count to 2-2. Ball, now a full count, throw to second. Is the runner out? No, he's safe. Chris Savo successfully steals over the second base. And what we've also learned here in your opening inning of play is just the fact that Ida Baker, they have some mean base runners out there. Really aggressive when it comes to stealing. Ida Baker with a 3-0 lead at the moment. Runner number 4 is now on second in scoring territory. This ball is going to be chopped over the Raider dugout down the right field line. Speaking of that, plenty of fans have packed into the visiting seats as well for Ida Baker as they made the trip from up north in Cape Coral, not too far away from us here, and Fort Myers. And here's another base on balls. This time it's going to Ryan Clay. Meanwhile, catcher Tyler Pro will head up to the mound, and that quick meeting will subside.
Batting next for Ida Baker, second baseman number 5, Alex Rios.
So this is how you tell it's been a not so memorable top half of the first for the Raider fielding unit. This is batter number 8 of 9 total coming up for the Bulldogs. Palmquist in an all-out struggle on the mound as he delivers a pitch inside but low. Meanwhile, right now there's some action going on down the first base side in the Raider dugout. 2 on and 2 out at the top of the first. Raiders trailing by 3 here in varsity baseball action on the Riverdale Raiders broadcast network. Hack and a miss makes it 0-2 now for Alex Rios, playing to second base today on the Ida Baker defense. Pitch reaches the dirt, ball 1. It's now time for your weather forecast for tonight's game. 59 degrees, wind blowing from left to right at 4 miles per hour. Humidity is at 36% tonight, and there is no chance of precipitation. Your overall forecast is clear, and it is a beautiful night for Raider baseball, as this pitch is going to be fouled backwards to the backstop safety netting. The good news for Palmquist, if it makes him feel any better, is just the fact that he's 1 out away from retiring the sides here. And what has been an insane top of the first. Can he end it right here? Yes, he can. Swing and a miss brings us the bottom half of the first. Alex Rios strikes out with a swinging strikeout.
Your Raiders coming to bat.
But not before 8 batters step up for Ida Baker, and 3 of them score. Raiders coming to the bats, hoping to even this up and put some runs on the board right after a word from our sponsors on the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network.
For your Raiders, shortstop, number 15, Daniel Kaler.
Raiders find themselves in a little bit of a hole here at the bottom half of the first as they trail 3-0 to the Ida Baker Bulldogs in varsity baseball action. And as we get back to the ball game, Daniel Kaler will be your leadoff batter for the Raiders. Takes a ball 1 and then a ball 2 off to the sides. So once again, 3-0 is your score. Ida Baker scores 3 runners. 8 batters come up out of the 9-man order. Here's a pitch right down the middle for a strike 1 to Daniel Kaler, who is playing the shortstop in today's ball game. Next one on the way, he tries to lay down the bunt, and that's going to tip to the backstop. He pulls back in time for a ball 3. Daniel Kaler, the shortstop, right fielder Tyler Gertman, and catcher Tyler Prell will be your 3-man due-up here at the home half of inning number 1. Cleaning up, it's Hunter Tinsley, who's playing the third base in today's ball game. This is a high fly ball out to center field. That's going to be quickly tracked down by Luke Inslee out in center field. And that's an F8 in the scorebooks for Daniel Kaler, the leadoff batter.
Next batter for your Raiders, right fielder number 18, Tyler Gertman.
We now continue with Tyler Gertman, the right fielder, now moving up to the plate. Another righty. Kaler also stands into the left hand of the batter's box, and Gertman watches one go by for a ball 1. Batting 5th hits the designated hitter Colton Seitz. In the 6th spot, it's Joel Velez, the first baseman, as this is hacked back towards the press box. And the 7th spot, it's Brendan McNabb, who's also playing second base. The center fielder Tyler Yeager is in the 8th spot batting, and last at the number 9 spot, it's Matt Hardy, who's taking a game out in left field today. This is a high fly ball out in right field. That actually goes over the safety netting and out near the crowd. It did not hit somebody from far as I know, but that was dangerous. It came close. Yeah, we didn't hear any screams up here from the press box. We're not too far high up from the Raider fan section. Here's another one, hopefully out of play, and that's going to be the case as it bounces down on the top of the Raider dugout. Count now 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tyler Gertman. He started off 2016 in the junior varsity team for Raider baseball, moved his way up to varsity just about 2 weeks ago. And I have to say, he has adjusted very well. He knows how to get behind the ball, and he does so right here. It's a fly out to the shortstop. Getting under that ball was Christian Profit for out number 2. Tyler Prell hoping to keep the inning alive.
Tyler Prell.
Ida Baker leads 3-0 here at the home half of the first. And this Bulldog squad, they are looking very talented in both the batting order and the fielding unit. Prell connects with the first pitch, driving it out to right field, outside of the stadium. 0-1. We are coming at you live from Pringle Field at Riverdale High School for tonight's broadcast. Here's another one that has to make the catcher slide over to his right side to keep it from going to the backstop. Behind home plate, it's Gabe Villaverde for Ida Baker. 1-1. Ball 2. Ida Baker tonight, they are wearing some black uniforms. They have blue sleeves. They have blue numbers on the back. Dark blue to be exact. They are wearing gray pants and gray baseball caps. And they have a dark blue script IB on the center for Ida Baker. And Tyler Prell now takes a walk. And he is the first base runner of the ball game for the Raiders. This will be Hunter Tinsley walking his way up to the plate.
Base for the Raiders. Number 3, Colin Azevedo. Batting next for your Raiders. Third baseman, number 4, Hunter Tinsley.
Colin Azevedo will be your courtesy runner over on first to take over for Tyler Prell. Tinsley starts off with a 1-0 count. I'll tell you this starting pitcher for Ida Baker, Dillian Lewis, he is really talented throwing off the left hand. Nice speedy wind up and a nice delivery as well. And this is going to be... Is it caught?
No.
It's not. Wow. Well, what happened there, the center fielder Luke Inslee tried to dive on his stomach for the ball, trying to close in on it. He tried to make a diving save, and he thought he had his. Well, he stuck his glove up and everything, but that umpire behind home plate had his eye on the ball the entire time and said, that hit the ground.
Designated hitter number 10, Colton Sight.
So as a result of that misfortune for Luke Inslee and the Ida Baker Bulldogs, that's a base hit for Hunter Tinsley. And now they have something going with a runner over on second. Once again, that's Colin Azevedo, and Colton Seitz is now the batter.
I see a brand new rising. I see trouble on the way.
2 on and 2 out for the Raiders at the bottom half of the first as they are down by 3 runs. This is tipped backwards out of play.
This guy's a sidearm.
Yeah, what's very interesting about the delivery of Lewis is just the fact that
Almost like a submariner.
he delivers from the sidearm. And this is going to be put back out into the Raiders stands. I wouldn't want to be sitting there tonight. They've already had a few lucky bounces come their way when it comes to foul balls. Luckily, everyone's safe there as of right now, but we're only still at the bottom of your first inning. Currently an 0-2 count to Colton Seitz. And here's a bluff throw over the second as Lewis is trying to psych out Colin Azevedo, the Raider base runner on second. Leg whip and fire. Bouncer over the second. This should do it for the inning, and it will. 4-3 put out on Colton Seitz. Strands 2 runners on board for the Raiders. We now head into your second inning of play. Ida Baker in the lead over the Raiders, 3-0, and varsity baseball action. Corey Hill, the leadoff batter, will bring us into the top half of the second inning where the Ida Baker Bulldogs lead over the Riverdale Raiders by a 3-0 score and varsity baseball action. Hill takes a ball 1 to start things off. New pitcher on the mound for the Raiders. It's going to be number 12, Kyle Adorno. Interestingly enough, he's also throwing off the sidearm. He's a right-handed hurler anyhow. Unlike Dillian Lewis, the starting pitcher for Ida Baker, who also delivers off the sidearm, as we noted back at the home half of the first inning. Raiders came into it down by a 3-0 score. They started it off 2 up, 2 down. They were able to bring runners on second and first. Tyler Prell got a base on balls, and you also had a base hit out to center field by Hunter Tinsley, but the sides were retired as Colton Seitz grounded out over to the second baseman. Count now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Corey Hill. Adorno winds and fires, and that's also outside. Oh, this certainly is a sign of struggle for the Raiders here early on in the ball game. They started the top half of the first with Carson Palmquist as the starting pitcher on the mound. We are now here at the beginning of your second inning, and it's Kyle Adorno for the Raiders. Reason being, of course, Palmquist, he just struggled at the top half of the first. Couldn't find the strike plate real well, and it did not end well. 8 batters came up, 3 runners scored, and this is a small bouncer up the middle. Adorno scoops and delivers over the first for the 1-3 putout on Corey Hill. We now head to the top of the order with Luke Ensley.
Top of the order, center fielder number for Luke Ensley.
Luke Ensley, the center fielder, comes up. Back in the first inning, he got on board due to an E6 in the scorebooks, otherwise known as an error on the shortstop. Eventually, he was able to score, but he won't be able to this time. This goes from the shortstop to the first baseman for out number 2.
Now batting for Ida Baker, shortstop number 10, Christian Prophet.
Christian Prophet now stepping in. He had a base knock back in the first inning. So things going smooth now for the Raider defense. They got to see what type of team they're going up against once again. Ida Baker, they are a powerful team. 12-2 so far in the 2016 regular season, so they're starting to wind down now. The good thing is that although 3 runs came across at the top half of the first, there's still more than plenty of baseball to be played, so it's time to calm down, not panic, and get things sorted out here as a strike one is now brought over to Christian Prophet. The second pitch is hacked out of play, down right field. The sky is now becoming purple and light blue. This is great, folks. I'm really enjoying the daylight savings time. It throws you off when it happens, but it leads to some very interesting looking skies, because by the time the ball game starts, the sun is still not set. Well, this is a bouncer over to the shortstop, and he's not able to bring the throw over the first in time, so that's a hit to Christian Prophet to keep things going. That's actually going to be ruled an error there, as Daniel Kaler couldn't scoop it up right off the bounce.
Batting next for the Bulldogs, the fielder number 1, Matt McGarty.
Matt McGarty now steps into the left hand of the batter's box. 3-0 Ida Baker leads with 2 outs at the top of the second. Throw over the first. That's going to go a little bit wild. It doesn't go too far anyhow. That's going to keep Christian Prophet over on first. Kyle Adorno in his first inning of pitching nails Matt McGarty right on the back. And now he is going to take a walk over the first base. That stretches Christian Prophet over the second. And once again, Ida Baker as a runner threatening to score.
Next batter for Ida Baker, first baseman number 17, Christian Menendez.
Christian Menendez will now try to extend this 3-run lead for Ida Baker here at the top of the second. Kyle Adorno looks, trying to get a signal from Prell. Does so successfully. Whip and fires a strike one off to the edges. Thank you all for tuning in to the Raider Baseball Broadcast Network for tonight's varsity contest between the Riverdale Raiders and the Ida Baker Bulldogs. Oh, 1 is going to be bounced backwards. Very slow start to the ball game. Now 7:42 is your time in the ball game that had a first pitch of 7:04. We are here at the top of the second. Runner trying to take off the third. This is smoke to the shortstop, Daniel Kaler, who puts it right in the back of his glove, and that retires their sides. Ida Baker can't get any runs across the plate here at the top of the second, but they still do lead 3-0. Home half of inning number 2 coming up right after a break on the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network.
Baseman number 5, Joel Velez.
Joel Velez will be your opening batter at the home half of the second, as the Riverdale Raiders are down 3-0 to the Ida Baker Bulldogs, and varsity baseball action live from Pringle Field on the campus of Riverdale High School in Fort Myers, Florida. And in a bizarre turn of events, Joel Velez, he put a very nice bouncer down the third base side as a part of a bunt attempt. Ida Baker had 3 men going to it that time. It was Gabe Villaverde, Dillian Lewis, and you also had Ryan Clay trying to backtrack on that ball. The thing was, they were very patient and waited for it to go foul down third base, and their patience paid off as it was eventually ruled foul. Now here's a bouncer over to the shortstop for out number 1 as he delivers over the first in time. So that's a 6-3 put down the scorebooks to Joel Velez.
Next batter for your Raiders, second baseman number 6, Brendan McNabb.
Brendan McNabb now steps in for his first at-bat of the ball game. Watches a strike one go by him. 0-1. Gets off the thin end of the bat, but won't put the ball into play. 0-2. 1 out here at the home half of the second. Ida Baker up by a 3-0 score. And ever since the first pitch, the Bulldogs have really looked in control of this game. This pitch barely misses in the corners. Another one on the way. Oh, that came very close there to Brendan McNabb. He had to back his way out of the box to keep that one from hitting him. McNabb is a lefty when he steps in the box, so he really had to backtrack to get that ball away from him there. Just had to take a step back, but either way, that has to be a very intense moment as a batter. Another pitch on the way, and that barely misses. Count is now full for Brendan McNabb. Raiders in some very good spirits, it seems like, in the dugout, still encouraging their players as they look on. Oh, and look at this. That's an error on the second baseman. He tried to scoop up the ground ball, but he tripped up, and Brendan McNabb will now take first base. And Tyler Yeager makes his way up from the on-deck circle.
For your Raiders, center fielder number 1, Tyler Yeager.
So Tyler Yeager, the center fielder, is now hoping to extend Brendan McNabb around the bases. He's trying to lay the bunt down. Can he do it successfully? No, he fakes. Bouncer to the shortstop. This isn't very good. Throw to second for 1, first for 2, but they won't get the double play. Yeager is safe on first. Brendan McNabb called out on second, which will keep us going with 2 outs at the bottom of the second. And it's Matt Hardy next.
Left fielder number 9, Matt Hardy.
So Yeager makes his way on to the base pads. Very aggressive stealer. He's going to second, and he is going to be back in time. Or excuse me, he made it all the way over to second. I had to switch up my words there, but yeah. Yeager just took off ever since the windup came off the hands of Lewis. He just powered his way right over to second base. Heck, by the time Yeager slid into second, I don't even think the catcher, Gabe Villaverde, even got the ball off his hands. So that shows you how aggressive Yeager is when it comes to stealing bases, and he's been doing it all season. And we were expecting him to do something right when he got on first. So He's on the second successfully. He's trying to steal over the third, and oh my goodness, that was dangerous. Lined over to the on-deck circle where Daniel Kaler was warming up.
God, Yeager had a great jump, too. Oh.
And Yeager, he was stealing over the third, but he's going to have to head back as a result of the foul.
He had a great jump.
And he had a really nice head start on that as well. (2-1). And that's offsides. The good news is that Daniel Kaler over on the on-deck circle, he's okay. Looks like that ball just missed him. There's a lot of force behind that swing anyhow by Hardy. Pop-up out to right field. Let's see if it gets down. No, it won't. It's right into the back of the glove of right fielder Coy Hill.
Here's where he stands.
And the Raiders can't get runs on the board still. So we go into inning number 3. Raiders down by 3 runs. Chris Schroe leads off the bats for Ida Baker as we now enter your third inning of play. Ida Baker up by a 3-0 score over the Riverdale Raiders in varsity baseball action. Strike one now given to Schroe as Kyle Adorno is up on the mound for his second inning of pitching for Riverdale. 0-1 won't make it. 1-1. Well, tonight the 6-8 Riverdale Raiders hope to extend their 4-game win streak as they battle the 12-2 Ida Baker Bulldogs. They were off to a little bit of a rough start at the top half of the first. 8 runners came up to bat for Ida Baker. 3 of them scored. To be exact, that was Luke Ensley, Christian Prophet, and Matt McGarty, those 3 runners coming to score for Ida Baker. Here's a grounder to the shortstop. Daniel Kaler makes a brilliant throw to Joel Velez on first to retire Chris Schroe for out number 1 here in the third inning.
Batting next for the Bulldogs, catcher number 7, Gabe Villaverde.
Gabe Villaverde now follows up. Well, it is a very eventful night here at Riverdale High School. We have baseball action going on right here at Pringle Field, but plenty of other great things are going on right now as well. Strike one to Villaverde. Just over the center field wall, we have Carl Englefield, which is home to our football team, our lacrosse team, our soccer team, and our track team. They always are eventful over there when it comes to athletics all throughout the school year as a pitch bounces to the backstop for ball 1 to Villaverde. But tonight, they are holding a middle school East Zone meet. And let me tell you this, it was a packed house when it started, and right here from the press box of the baseball field, you can hear the screaming and the cheers as a strike is right down the middle from Adorno. 1-2. And that's too low. Now remember, showing up to the Raider baseball game, going through the parking lot, and I didn't know anything about this middle school track game, or track meet rather. I'll tell you, I was pretty surprised because there were fans just making a huge line out towards the ticket entry. And then my mind was blown, I'll tell you that, when I learned there was a track meet, because that certainly is great. Hundreds, if not thousands, showed up to cheer on their local middle schools. Here's 2 consecutive ball calls, and that's going to bring Villaverde over on first for a walk. Courtesy runner now on first.
Runner for Villaverde, now running at first base, number 14, Chris Sabo. Your next Ida Baker batter, third baseman number 3, Ryan Clay.
Chris Savo is your courtesy runner over on first base for Ida Baker. This is the second time of this ball game where he has been featured on the base pads as a courtesy runner. 1 on and 1 out for Ida Baker, up by 3 runs. Adorno throwing over the first. And Sabo takes a very nice dive over in time. Well, over there at Carl Engel Field, the event is still going strong with your East Zone Middle School track meet. Plenty of fans still out there, and they are everywhere. It almost reminds me of high school football when we have the Riverdale Raiders play during the fall. These fans here at RHS, they really know how to pack the house for those football games, I'll tell you that. Check swing and a miss for Ryan Clay, the new batter for Ida Baker. Holds back on a check swing, and they'll register that as a ball. And on top of that, we also have softball going on. Riverdale Raiders softball in action against Ida Baker. Softball field's just over our left field wall at Pringle Field. Here's another ball. Makes the count 2-0 to Ryan Clay. So we have 3 different athletic events going on tonight, and they are all huge, I will tell you that. All on a Monday night. What a way to start off the new week. Pitch hits the dirt. Makes the count 3-0. Very exciting week for the students and staff alike at Riverdale High School. It's your last week before spring break. Always a joyous time, especially for these Riverdale baseball players. They'll be in action for multiple games during spring break. More info in just a moment. Here's a strike 1. Throw the first, and Joel Velez can't tag out the runner Chris Sabo in time. Count now 3-1 to Ryan Clay. And here's a ball 4 up in the corners, and that puts 2 on for Ida Baker. And another walk for the Raider defense. That now sends in Alex Rios to the plate.
Second baseman number 5, Alex Rios.
Well, the spring break games all begin on Thursday night when the Raiders face their Class 7A District 12 rival, the Estero Wildcats. Estero, as of right now, is 10-4 on the regular season. Here's a crazy pitch high and dry for a ball 1 to Alex Rios. And then next week, Riverdale will compete in a 2-day stretch of games, and they will begin by competing on Monday night against the 7-7 Berrien Collar Cougars. Ooh, this one came very close, just to the back of Alex Rios and missed him by about inches. Ball 2. They will wrap up the spring break contest on Tuesday night when they go head-to-head with the district rival Fort Myers Green Wave. The best part of this news is that all 3 games that I have mentioned will take place right here at Pringle Field, and they will all hold a first pitch start time of 7 p.m. Adorno winds with the 2-0. That's also to the sides in the dirt, 3-0. One more pitch outside of the strike plate will load up the bags for Ida Baker. And if that were to happen, it would be the second time in the contest where Ida Baker had 3 runners on. Can Adorno get the strike? No. Base is loaded, and this means trouble with 1 out at the the top half of the third. Once again, some shaky pitching on the mound, this time from Adorno. And he now will walk Alex Rios.
Tomorrow at 6 p.m. at East Lee County High School against the Jaguars. First pitch will out at 6 o'clock. It's a varsity only game. And then we'll return home Thursday against the Estero Wildcats. Next batter for Ida Baker, right fielder number 6, Corey Hill.
So Corey Hill will try to extend the 3-run lead for the Bulldogs. A little bit of a public address announcement there. We hate to flood you with all kinds of upcoming ball games, but if we must add, tomorrow night, the Raiders will be on the road to face the East Lee County Jaguars. That pitch hits the lower end for a ball 1. And that game will have a 6 p.m. start time at Eastleigh tomorrow night. This pitch dips low again. Ball 2. Adorno playing a lot of force into his pitches here. Maybe overthrowing a little bit, just trying a bit too hard to whiff one right by him. Here's another one in the dirt. Adorno struggling. With 3 runners on, now a 3-0 count, so one more outside will make it a 4-0 Ida Baker lead. And Corey Hill has all kinds of great opportunities and chances if he can just blast one fair. There's a pitcher out in the bullpen out in right field for the Raiders. And this misses, ball 4, and it's now a 4-1 lead for Ida Baker. That time coming in to score for Ida Baker was Chris Savo, the courtesy runner. And out comes Coach Bobby Pringle for the Riverdale Raiders. And the infield is going to crowd in as well here, so let's see what's going to happen. If they're going to talk with Adorno, yank him, wherever it may be, we'll see in just moments here. So as a result of that walk, it's 4-0 Ida Baker over the Riverdale Raiders. And to add insult to injury, the Bulldogs still have the bases loaded. So we take a look, and Adorno still has the ball in his hands, so he will resume play on the mound.
Looks like Azevedo's warming up in the bullpen.
And from the looks of it, in the right field bullpen for the Raiders, Colin Azevedo is warming up,
Next
number
batter for Ida
3.
Baker, top of the order, center fielder number 4, Luke Ensley.
So the destructive Luke Ensley comes up. He's 1 for 2 on the night. He's 6 in the first, and a 6-3 put out back in the second. Bases loaded with 1 out at the top of the third. Ida Baker leads by a 3-0 score as a ball 1 drags in the dirt. Colin Azevedo earlier in this ball game, he played as a courtesy runner, so it's very possible we may see him as a pitcher, possibly next inning. Depends how Adorno holds up here and your third. Another pitch skips low, and it seems like that's what Adorno is doing. He's throwing off the sidearm, and he's aiming low down in the dirt. And more often than not, you see Tyler Prell sliding out to his right to save that ball from hanging to the backstop. 2-0 count to Luke Ensley. Bags loaded. The pitch to him bounces away from Prell. Runner trying to score. No, he's going to go back now halfway through. Ball going to the backstop again. And the Raiders' defense, they are looking sloppy. Prell tried to scoop it up off the right hand. It got away from him.
Blue, 3-0. Blue. 3-0, blue.
But luckily, no one was able to score that time. 3-0 now is your count for Ensley. Well, that time it was very interesting. Ryan Clay was over on third. He was about to take home plate, but then once Prell scooped the ball up, that's when he chugged back over to third. And finally, there's a strike 1. So Adorno, after plenty of struggling on the mound, he takes a strike. 3-1. Misses. Your score is now 5-0 Bulldogs. And that time it's Ryan Clay making his turnaround home. And it looks like this is it for Kyle Adorno. Looked very calm when he came out at the top of the second inning, but in the third, all heck just broke loose. Ida Baker was able to step up, load the bags, and due to 2 walks, Ida Baker scores in a pair of runs, and this may be where we see Colin Azevedo come into play as the pitcher for Riverdale. Kyle Adorno now makes his march back over to the dugout down the first base side. Gets a round of applause from the Raider fans. And Colin Azevedo makes his way out the mound.
Pitching change for the Raiders. Now on the mound, number 3, Colin Azevedo.
He's throwing off the right hand, and we will tell you how he does right after this. Right now, your score is 5-0, Ida Baker, with 1 out at the top of the third. More baseball after this.
Shortstop, number 10, Christian Prophet.
Christian Prophet now steps to the plate as we proceed with your top half of the third inning. New pitcher on the mound for the Raiders is Colin Azevedo, like we mentioned prior to the break. Right-handed hurler, a senior on the Raider baseball team. And in previous games, a big thing we noted about his pitching is that he has a nasty curveball. And he'll start his appearance in tonight's ball game with a ball 1. It's currently a 5-0 Ida Baker score. 2 of those runs were scored here at the top of the third. This is going to be caught by the second baseman. Boy, Brendan McNabb does a phenomenal job of hustling down the right field line to call it off and make the snag. F4 in the scorebooks for Christian Prophet. And that's out number 2 here at the top of the third. Matt McGarty now steps in.
Next batter for Ida Baker, left fielder number 1, Matt McGarty.
Bases still loaded for Ida Baker, so they still have some chances to extend their 5-run lead. Bouncer over to Tinsley on third, throwing to first, and there's your out. 5-3 put out, ends the madness, strands the bases loaded, but not before Ida Baker scores 2. Your score, 5-0. Bottom of the third we go after this break on the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network. Daniel Kaler will be your leadoff batter at the bottom of the third as your score is now 5-0. Ida Baker leads over the Riverdale Raiders in this varsity baseball contest. Daniel Kaler steps in, takes a ball 1, and then advances the count to 2-0 with a pitch high and dry. It was another disaster of an inning for the Raider defense at the top half of the third. Ida Baker came in with a 3-0 advantage, scored in a pair of runs as they got the bases loaded. Both runs were scored with a walk and the bases loaded. Kyle Adorno came into the ball game, the inning rather, on the mound. It was his second inning of pitching, but then things just went downhill for him, and Colin Azevedo came in to finish the madness and strand the bases loaded. Well, that at-bat for Kaler ends with a fly out to right field for out number 1. Tyler Gertman now trying to make things a little bit more upbeat for the Raiders as they are being stranded with no outs. Or no runs. I'm getting the verbs mixed up here. Count now 3-0 with a pitch off to the sides. Well, your pitcher Dillian Lewis for Ida Baker is still on the mound, and he has done a great job of keeping this Raider team away from scoring position. The furthest the Raiders have gone to scoring position
Batting out for your Raiders,
was over on second base.
Tyler Brown.
Here's a walk to Tyler Gertman, and Tyler Prell now steps into the left side of the box, and he'll try to get some magic going with none out. Or one out, rather. This is out to right field. It's going to be played off the one hop by the right fielder, Corey Hill, and now 2 are on for the Raiders. Hunter Tinsley now has a big opportunity coming up, as he is next on the batting order.
Next batter for your Raiders, third baseman, number 4, Hunter Tinsley.
Hunter Tinsley stands in with a slight crouch. First pitch. He holds the bat back and starts 0-1. 5-0 Ida Baker lead at the top of the third. Raiders with 2 runners on. 1 on second, 1 on first. Oh, that comes close to Tinsley. Just wide to the knees. And that is a ball 1. Raiders came into this ball game on a pretty happy note, although things may look bleak at the moment. They've had some great chances and great moments coming into this ball game. This is tipped foul backwards, 1-2 is your count. Riverdale varsity baseball team, they started to click recently at this point of the season, as they have put together 4 consecutive victories heading into Pringle Field for tonight's ball game. That's clocked out to left field. My goodness. Going back towards the warning track, and it's going to be gloved up for the F7 in the scorebooks, but you have to give Tinsley some credit for giving that ball a nice little ride out to the warning track. And now there are 2 down as Colton Seitz
Now batting,
heads up.
Hitter, number 10, Colton Seitz.
Now 2 on and 2 out as Colton Seitz tries to make a clutch performance here in the second at-bat of the ball game. Takes a pitch low and away, 1-0. Seitz also has a crouch to his stance, and that's a ball 2 to the knees. Well, it began that 4-game winning streak on March 8th when the Raiders blew out the Lehigh Lightning in 5 innings, by an 11-0 mercy rule. 2 nights later on the 10th, RHS escaped the South Fort Myers Wolfpack by a 1-0 score in a game that stretched into 10 innings. Seitz now has a 3-0 count. Afterwards, on the 15th, the Raiders sneaked past the Fort Myers Green Wave on the road as they picked up a 10-7 win. And finally, in their most recent game, last Friday night, Riverdale traveled east to Clewiston and finished the night with a victory as the scoreboard read 5-2. Here's a walk to Colton Seitz off of 4 pitches, and the Raiders have the bases loaded for the first time in the contest. And Joel Velez will hope to be the man to make a game changer in the favor of the Raiders. Meanwhile, there's a meeting on the mound for Ida Baker.
And I don't have Jeopardy.
So Joel Velez will take a few practice swings to himself. High pressure moment for him here at the bottom of the third. Team down by 5, but the Raiders have men on first, second, and third. We've had a little bit of technical difficulties recently here with our public address computer, which plays most of our music. They updated it with a brand new computer, but some of our music files that we usually play here at Riverdale for our home games, they have not been found. They have not been found on the computer system, rather, so before the game we could not play Welcome to the Jungle, which is a good tradition for the Raiders when they take infield, outfield practice and warm-ups prior to the game. We could not do that today, and it was just silence. Velez will not put the first pitch into play as he knocks it down the first pitch side. 0-1. That's also bounced back, 0-2. Just moments ago, during the mound meeting, usually during a time like that, and a stoppage, we would play the Jeopardy theme song, but we couldn't anyhow in that moment, as we could not find it on our system, on the public address computer. Luckily, we will have that fixed for our next ball game on Thursday night here at Pringle Field. Another one knocked out of play, down the first base side, and the pitch for a ball. That one came very close, high to the corners. One, two. Oh, smokes it out to center field. Does it get down? No, it's caught by the center fielder. And a very nice performance by Luke Ensley out in center field to track it down. Cruising out to his right side to seal the deal and retire the sides with the Raider bags juiced. So they are still scoreless, and Ida Baker leads 5-0. Inning number 4 we go after this.
Number 17, Christian Menendez.
Christian Menendez is your opening batter for the 4th inning of play as the Ida Baker Bulldogs lead over the Riverdale Raiders by a 5-0 score. And this game of varsity baseball from Pringle Field at Riverdale High School. Once again, we would like to thank you for tuning in to the Riverdale Raiders broadcast network for tonight's game. Nick Rush giving you the call. Beautiful night, but Raiders not having the best at times. Colin Azevedo on the mound. He showed up halfway through your top of the 3rd. Finished out the inning, substituting for Kyle Adorno, who was pulled from the mound. And look at this, 3 straight strikes. It's a swinging strikeout for Christian Menendez for strike number 3 and out number 1.
For the Bulldogs, designated hitter number 16, Chris Schroe.
Chris Schroe is next. Azevedo with a very energetic windup and a forceful throw home. This pitch comes off to the sides for a ball 1. Azevedo with your 1-0 for a ball 2. As I look out there right now in the Raider fan section, seems like the attendance has increased out there. So plenty of fans throughout the course of tonight's ball game have decided to come out and cheer on their Raiders here. It has been a tough effort thus far. Now 3-0 is the count to Chris Schroe. And he'll take a strike 1 to keep the at-bat alive. Next one on the way. Check swing, but that's a strike 2. Now a full count. I will tell you this. Colin Azevedo, he's the 3rd pitcher on the mound for the Raiders in today's ball game. He is looking very energetic there on the mound, not wasting too much time in between pitches. But that may work against him. As here's a ball 4 to Chris Schroe as he now gets on the first base.
Batting next for Ida Baker, catcher number 7, Gabe Villaverde.
Gabe Villaverde now with a man on first and 1 out. Villaverde comes up, goes into his batting stance as a righty.
Nice curve.
And a very nice curveball there for strike number 1. As we mentioned back in your 3rd inning of play, that is something we've noted from Azevedo and your previous games that he has performed in as a pitcher. Very nice curveball. And not too many batters may know how to connect with that and drive it to the outfield. Here's Daniel Kaler over on the shortstop position, getting right underneath that ball and tracking it down for out number 2. So Gabe Villaverde now retired.
Next batter for the Bulldogs, third baseman number 3, Ryan Clay.
We continue your top half of the 4th with Ryan Clay as the batter. This is not a 2-up, 2-down. Keep in mind there is a runner on first. So it's a 3-up, 2-down, I guess you could say. Azevedo checks over on first to that base runner. This is smacked out to center field. Tyler Yeager, the center fielder, tracks it down for out number 3. Bottom of the 4th we go, and the Raiders still trail by a 5-0 score.
Brendan McNabb.
Raiders trailing by 5 runs here at the bottom half of the 4th, and Brendan McNabb is looking to decrease the deficit for the Riverdale Raiders. Smacks the first pitch out to right field and a bouncer, and that's a leadoff base hit for the Raiders. Brendan McNabb on the base pads for the second time of the ball game, and that was a little bit of luck there as the ball skipped right past the diving second baseman, which was Alex Rios.
Center fielder, number 1, Tyler Yeager.
And Tyler Yeager now up. Last time he came to the plate, he had a fielder's choice as he made his way on the first. Starts with a pitch low in the dirt. You're 1-0. Misses again. The scoreboard reads 5-0 Ida Baker. The great thing about the Raiders is that they're still keeping up some energy. You still see them with some smiles on their faces, but they know it's time to go to work. Another pitch plummets low to make the count 3-0 on Tyler Yeager. Can you get the 4-pitch walk? The answer is yes. Brendan McNabb now making his way over to second. Yeager on first, and the Raiders are in business with no outs at the bottom of the 4th.
Now batting, left fielder number 9, Matt Hardy.
So Matt Hardy. Oh, it looks like there is a correction going on here. We'll see after this. And that's going to miss, so we'll get correction.
Pinch hitting right now for Hardy. Number 8, Matisse Bober.
Okay, there we go. So we cleared up some confusion, and that's actually Matisse Bober, number 8, and his first at-bat of the ball game. Takes a ball one off to the edges. Tries to lay down the bunt for a second time, and the next pitch is going to be a strike. I feel like this is a very wise decision. You have a runner on second, one on first. If this goes successful, then you'll have 2 runners in scoring territory, and that's going to happen. Matisse Bober is tagged out there by first baseman Christian Menendez, who is slowly treading his way down first base, so he easily scoops up the bunt, tags out Bober for out number 1.
Now batting for your
And now
Raiders,
runners on third and second.
number 15, Daniel Kaler.
So Daniel Kaler hoping to do some magic by putting the Raiders on the board. He can do it right here, and if he can just put a liner out the outfield, he can make this 5-2. He's going to try to signal for the bunt, and there's a strike. It does seem a little bit strange to bunt when you have a runner over on third. And one on second, but this is down the first base side. Was it fair? No. Oh, that really got some oohs and ahs from the crowd as they thought it was fair. Fans got up out of their seats to celebrate. But the Raiders aren't going to celebrate just yet as it was called a foul. Oh, and it was close too. Came down to inches, and that now increases the count to no balls and 2 strikes. 1 out here at the bottom of the 4th. Brendan McNabb could be the opening scorer for Riverdale. And here's a strike 3 for Kaler as he watches the fastball go by him.
Next batter for your Raiders, number 18, Tyler Gertman.
So Tyler Gertman up with a do-or-die situation. If he can't find a way to get Brendan McNabb home from third, then the sides will be retired, and the Raiders will head into yet another inning scoreless. Bottom of the fourth is where we are right now at this point in the ballgame. So Gertman with a ball 1-0. Going straight to the second baseman. Bounces down, throw to first, and there's your out. 4-3 put out on Gertman, retires the sides, and streams 2 runners on board for the Raiders. 5-0 is your score. Ida Baker in the lead as we head into inning number 5 after this break on the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network.